14-minute win over Myth. Also won over Liam Atlas, Haha Cell, and Megawatt, the closest to being last week. As we are underway, let's do this one, Felix.
We are off. Red mail is for cowards. The cry of the uncle that, well, we'll see the uncle's fate soon.
Well, let's go ahead and see what the uncle's going to have. What would you like to see at the uncle, Felix?
I'd like to see this be as a wide open and route diverse as we can. So let's get, no progression just yet. I want maybe the Cane of Burna. I won't be too mean. I don't want bombs. Nobody likes bombs. Well, viewers might. I don't like to see it as another runner.
I wouldn't want to see bombs either, but I'm going to say maybe the bow will be one of our items. You do see one of the crystals of the 5-6 variety being up at the Tower of Hera as we find the Cane of Burna at the uncle.
I was right, and also not mean. But no bow. I mean, there's still a chance we could find an escape. We won't have any arrows at that point, but, we'll have something.
Both runners ending up killing the guards, and I think they both end up dropping a heart for WeightyWords. First one heading into the castle as we are going through our normal procedure here with escape, try to find the bombs, get to the back three and find out what we have along the way. If there's any progression, let's hope for some good progression.
Well, let's hope for bombs at the very least. Nobody wants to go back in, as you mentioned, and you got to manage your magic enough that you can get to the end and kill that final rat with the key. But in the meantime, there's a whole bunch of places where you can take advantage of that cane to potentially score some bombs.
And the thing is that how you use the Cane of Burna will really matter as we go through this part of the escape. As we find the key and another key, so we know we will be seeing maybe something in that last chest of these sewers. Or I don't know. We get to see the map.
It's very true. Yeah, I mean, the map could be waiting in Sanctuary for us. Hey, did you want to find this? Do you need it now? No? Oh, okay, cool. Don't worry, I'll just keep it here. But yeah, the Cane of Burna, you got some interesting times to use it. I've taken a liking to using it when I'm in the snake room to both prevent damage and clear out as many of those as possible.
Yep, and both of these runners doing about the same strats here with the Cane of Burna as they've been practicing with that strat. You want to try to get the guards, and you realize that the knockback of the guards will be sending them upward, so you use that to your advantage.
Absolutely, yeah. Either meet them at a spot where you can hit them as quick as possible, or wait till they walk in front of those chests.
Get out of the way, Green Guard. Does knock him out for 5 arrows, as Freddeh does go with the hot strats as well. So let's go and find out what we have inside the cell today.
Ooh, we'll find our way out of the dungeon. That does mean there are 4 items left, 3 in the back of Escape and 1 in Sanctuary. 5 actually.
I was going to say 5 of them because we had the one that's in the sewers as well, since we've already seen the key.
It still always throws me off whenever the key is somewhere else. But you are correct. Both of these runners looking pretty good on magic. Freddie's a little lower because chose to use some on that green guard, whereas Weighty just kind of, I guess, face tanked it, as the kids say.
The runners do know that there are going to be some small potion pickups along the way as you make your way to the sewers. Just got to go a little bit out of the way to pick them up. It will be interesting to see if we try to kill up any more of these guards before we go into the sewers. It looks like Freddeh is going to do so. Has not found a bomb drop just yet, and we may have to look at the ropes for said bomb drops. You never want to have to go back into Escape.
No, not at all. And it is in logic that you could have to walk, totally through because the light cone is there at all times. So yeah, you might have to just come back in and walk in from the front if something of progression is there and you don't find gloves, so you can't check any other way.
As a runner, how does that make you feel when you leave those chests behind in a race setting like this?
Nervous. Always nervous. How about
because you think the other runner has gotten that bomb drop, that they don't have to worry about this. No, none of the ropes.
None of the first 4, anyways. We'll see if Weighty, goes after any more of these. Maybe save some magic, kill as many rats. Hey, look, a lamp. That's exciting. Now you can continue to see what you were seeing.
Yep. No dark rooms going to be present for either of these runners during this entire run. Looks like Freddy's going to be trying to kill the rats, and he's got to be careful of his magic. Gets a fairy drop, and that's unfortunate. Gonna have to know where those potion drops are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Or, quick little save and quit.
So he's down to just a little bit of magic left. He's got to hope that he's got enough to get the rat, and it's got the key. There we go. That's good.
That was a little scary. I lost which rat was the correct
so did
one.
I was getting really nervous there, but neither of these runners are going to be able to bomb into the back 3 of escape. So both of these runners, they don't have any idea where the other runner is as far as the bombs are concerned. We see Freddy trying to kill the rats. This isn't going to matter anymore. And speaking of that red mail is for cowards, well, we are halfway there. Freddy, you can't go back down. That block is back in place.
Always disappointing when you find that out for the first time, and it does not happen a second time. But yeah, it's definitely tough. So Freddy's got a bomb. It's nice to have. Means you can check certain places in Kakariko, especially not finding bombs anywhere else.
Be careful. That's how it says. I've never noticed that.
Yeah. You always try and heal afterwards. It does not work. Both of them actually tell you to be careful. Get on your way.
Our container turns out to be at the lumberjack tree, so we're not going to see them go all the way up to Aghanim to face off for that item. We will see whether or not they have to later on.
Yeah, I guess the force progression of Aghanim, not necessarily required just yet.
So we do learn that the tier tree pole, the tier 2 tree pole, turns out to be the blue rupees, as it doesn't turn out to be anything interesting over at the mushroom spot. And there's the bow.
Wow. Early bow. Wasn't an escape, but it was pretty close.
But that also now means that Eastern is completable, and it is for a crystal.
Since we have the lamp, no worries about that dark room. That second dark room in Eastern, where you're going up towards the Armos Knights, is just not a fun time, especially with no other weapons.
So Freddy now making his way over towards Kakariko Village, and he chooses to pick up the bug catching net over at the mushroom spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of reasons people choose to get a net. It's always a nice safety feature. You can catch some fairies. Get that bow.
Strats too. So WeightyWords does not have any bombs, nor does he have enough rupees to buy bombs at this point. So he's hoping to get bombs here in this first room. Gets the money to do so, but he's going to have to leave this chest behind for the time being. Freddy did farm for that one bomb. He was thinking of doing the back 3 of escape, but maybe this could pay off in this first spot here.
Absolutely. And payoffs kind of mean different things at different points in the game. I think if Freddy here bombs this back and finds 3 bombs, or even better yet, 10 bombs, that's a win. That's a win right there.
Well, in addition to that, as we find the red boomerang, there's also the 30 rupees you can grab back there. That's going to help for getting some more cash here in Kakariko Village, as we see WeightyWords spending the 50 to buy some more bombs.
It's true, down to just 12 rupees. Gonna need 88 to talk to the bottle vendor. But yeah, Freddy will be in a bit better of a rupee position. And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's the downside of, forgetting to go back in and getting that item. It's a cape. Could be something. We are a sword away from the early Aga play.
Yeah, well, we're never going to see these runners make that early Aga play. They've got a whole bunch of other places they can go instead, as we do the map check once again. So all 3 are crystals in the light world. Freddy is going into the well without a bomb, so maybe he's hoping to find bombs here. Turns out to be 20 rupees. As well as the other 3, there's some more rupees, so you can buy some bombs. The Moon Pearl and Quake.
Unfortunately, no bombs. Freddie's gonna have to backtrack a little. Maybe check the 50-50 spot, farm a little bombs, keep that money. But this is twice we've been taunted with bomb upgrades. The +10 and some +5. It's, hey, you can hold more of that thing you need.
So we're going to see WeightyWords backtrack into Blind's hut, and we're going to probably see Freddeh backtrack into the well. So both bomb situations here cancel each other out. And we're going to also be waiting to see when the runners make the move to go to the back 3 of escape, because technically you can get there now, but they're hoping to get the gloves before they do so.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you kind of leave it until you can't leave it anymore. Or, the gamble. Do you hope that your opponent didn't get a bomb either because you couldn't find one? Or do you go in trying to catch up?
Well, what would make this easier, I mean, we are already knowing that the lumberjack tree is not going to be required for Agnum, but if it does turn out that Agnum could be required, it could be their last chance saloon if they find the mirror and opt to mirror out of the back 3 once they check those chests. As we're going to go see what the racing game and the library are first. Are the boots going to be required?
I think so. I think we're going to have a boots required seed. It's that money. We need that money to get, no idea.
We need that money for Zora.
It's true. So maybe we'll find boots in May's game, go back, grab the money for Zora, and that's where the gloves will be.
Well, it is red, but it is a heart container. It is not what we're looking for. Freddeh opted not to check the library, nor did he check the race game. He's heading off to Sahasrah's hut, as well as Eastern Palace next, and so too is WeightyWords.
I wonder if Weighty's going to go down and check the item on Hyrule Lake just for some information. Doesn't look like it, but, always nice to do.
Neither runner is going to go ahead and give us that information at this point. They may be saving that for a more convenient time to do so, although this would have probably been the best time to do so until we find the flippers.
Absolutely. Or with the Moon Pearl, still reasonable to go fake flipper. But both the runners going, hey, I can do Eastern. Maybe my opponent won't do Eastern, and I can get a bit of an advantage.
Bombs for bombs. There's the flippers and bombos.
Wow, we already got 66% of the medallions. That's nice to see.
So now the runner opting to talk to Sahasrah, who would give you the information about which dungeon is going to be the green pendant, as they both are going to head on over towards Eastern. And as you said, either runner may not think that the other one's going to do so at this point, and this game gave you quite the early lamb, quite the early bow. Maybe follow the breadcrumbs.
Absolutely. We could be in for... Well, V29 has a few types of seeds. It's the super fast, the fast if you happen to check a couple of the right places, but most of the other stuff are there, or you're looking for one item for a good 50 minutes. What are you hoping for, Rick?
What are you talking about, Felix? I always get the slow, and annoyingly slow seeds.
Oh, so you're saying that you think the mirror is going to be on Graveyard Ledge?
We snuck in a glitched version of this game just to tease you all.
Yeah, exactly. Just making the way through Eastern. 20 rupees so far, so 1 of 3 items. What are you hoping to see next, Rick? What progression would you like?
Oh, there's the big key. Just because the seed wants to be a jerk at this point, book.
Okay. For the early desert and potentially pedestal check?
The early desert that you can't beat, but you have to go in to get your next progression item.
Okay. So you're saying required boots. Oh, I guess we don't have gloves yet either.
Yeah, we don't have gloves. That's why it could be a double dip of desert, but you could have to go in there to get the progression at this point.
Interesting. Okay, so something like gloves.
20 rupees inside that chest. And because we already got the early lamp, launch the seed, give us the third item in the big chest.
It's a little annoying, but at the same time, it's still better than making that long trip around.
But it's the map, so we have to make the long trip around unless you want to gamble, and this is a tough gamble to make.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, without boots, it's definitely not worth the time.
And
in my opinion.
Freddie's making the gamble.
Interesting. Well, 4 and 2, everything's on the line.
Nice arrow pickup there for Freddie as he was down to... I mean, we're going to get some arrows coming up soon, but we are going to have to spend some of those arrows in the next few rooms.
Absolutely. With not a ton of magic to use that Verna in, I guess, the room with the 6. I always blank on the name.
Yeah, we don't have any real magic in order to use the Cane of Burna strats, so we're kind of forced our hands at this point, and that is not the third item, so Freddie's going to get lucky here.
Wow. That is a bold move, and looks like it's paying off. Wow.
Nice move with the Burna.
Absolutely. I didn't think there was enough, but that's why these runners are the ones on your screen tonight. Ready getting set up. Tons of arrows.
You know, if this was me playing every time the Armos Knights would drop the compass and make me have to go back in to find the Moon Pearl or hammer or something like that. Just a piece of heart. So desert, rather eastern was a red herring.
Little bit, but still positive progression with the crystal.
Right, we needed to get the crystal, obviously, but it's still a red herring in the fact that we got no progression out of it.
I'm hoping for gloves at this point in the back of the skate.
I would love that. So we see WeightyWords going with the arrow strats, and you notice how this is a little bit longer than WeightyWords probably cares for at this point, but takes care of the red Igors really fast.
Look at the bombs. Those are quite the drops.
Yeah, because everyone needs 25 bombs. That's 16, 17 minutes in.
Absolutely.
I mean, the 4th of July. 4th of July is coming up. We need to be a pyrotechnic.
Absolutely. WeightyWords doing the traditional NMG strats. Very clean. Both of these runners had a great Armos Knight fight.
Yeah, pretty solid for both of these as Freddie heads on over towards the dam. Let's go ahead and see what we have inside as well as underneath the water. So the next stop probably is South Shore here is for Weighty as well. And they'll go ahead and do all the checks they need to do before they even bother checking the back 3 of Escape, as you mentioned before.
Absolutely. Wow, we're already at what, 30 possible bombs and 45 arrows at this point? The upgrades have been kind, but you know, not at the right time.
Upgrades have been fantastic. Just the problem at this point is we're looking for progression, and we really don't have a whole lot. We've got 2 medallions that we can't use at this point because we don't have a sword.
It would have been nice to pull out Bombos and kill these mini Moldarums with it, but you know, you do what you gotta do.
More bombs, rupees, piece of heart, nothing and nothing.
Well, as much as Eastern was a red herring, so far it was at least positive in the sense that you got flippers first. You can go up to Ice Palace, you can go check all this stuff, or Ice Rod Cave, not Ice Palace. I mean, you could go there, but it's not like you're getting in.
We're just going with the bomb strat, so he's going to be blowing stuff up. We find 50 rupees on Hylia Island, and we're going to go visit our friend, the Hobo.
I always like it when Hobo gives you 300 rupees. And I'm like, well, if you're kindly giving this away, I mean, this might be why you've attempted under the bridge, but gotta respect the generosity.
And Hobo gives us his heart.
So kind. So kind.
WeightyWords is following Freddie pretty much check by check at this point in time.
does make our jobs a little easier. It's just, oh, yeah. All right, they're there now. Likely going back up to Ice Rod Cave. Don't want to skip that. There's
Yeah,
no...
it looks like that's the path he's taking via the right-hand side. 342 rupees makes Zora a tough move to make at this point.
Absolutely. You know, hoping for a bit more money. Hoping for something that maybe pulls you somewhere else first. With the flippers, it's not too hard to get back to this spot. So, Rick, how many spots do we have left? We have the Zora Ledge, we got the Waterfall Cave, we got Zora. We got Agana,
Yep.
and then the back three, right? That's
Back 3 of Escape makes 3. The 4 with the Zora, Waterfall, and Ledge. That's 7. And Agena makes 8.
not a whole lot of options left. Especially Zora's kind of difficult right now. Can't easily farm any of that money.
If you're gonna farm the money, you have to do it through Kakariko Village at this point, unless you get lucky and the waterfall or the ledge gives you the rupees you need. Our container, and well, there's 20 rupees. We are now down to 118 rupees needed. My goodness, if this was a bit race, you'd see people trying to throw Freddeh all the rupees they can at this point, or take him away once he gets to Zora. Glove at the Zora ledge.
See, now that's big. That's a good thing to find. That does a whole bunch of stuff. You can now Houlihan easily to get those rupees, come back.
Also makes it a whole lot easier to get the back 3 of Escape.
Absolutely. Funny enough, it's approximately the same place that you do that. Just a couple pixels different.
So, Freddeh picking up his Power Glove, WeightyWords picking up his Power Glove. Let's go check the back 3 of Escape.
Maybe up to Death Mountain first. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. We do have access to that as well, but that's only 2 versus what we can get here. And Freddeh with the bomb in hand. Well, no, he's going to go into the back 3 of Escape. He's not doing Houlihan just yet.
We will find out soon. You want to bet 255 rupees?
Yeah, Freddie's not doing Houlihan.
A lot of fairies. Whole lot of fairies.
Yeah. There's magic powder.
Wow.
And there's the hammer. There's our Dark World access.
That was a lot of niceness in that. You got safeties. Freddeh has the net to capture the fairies that you can make. I don't know how many bottles, mind you, but that's besides the point.
Can you get hype for Hype Cave?
I think maybe like one item at best. That's my guess today. One good item.
What do you think that one good item is going to be?
I'm thinking sword. I have a feeling about sword. How about you, Rick? What do you think?
I think we've got ourselves a green pendant at Swamp, but we have pendants also at Turtle Rock as well as Skull Woods, which means this could be a very interesting seed really fast, depending on the item layouts here.
So that means we don't need a fire rod. We don't need an ice rod. We don't need a hook shot. We don't need the mirror.
There's ether, why not?
We've got, all of the... We've got a mirror shield. So, we're a flute, a pair of gloves... No, yeah, flute, a pair of gloves, either the mirror or the book, and, well, a couple swords away from go mode at this point, right?
Yeah, and Freddie's going to go ahead and check the pyramid area, and it looks like WeightyWords is thinking probably going to end up doing the same thing because WeightyWords has followed Freddeh for the last, about 15 minutes at this point. Might as well call him a stalker.
Well, stalking days look
Never
to
mind.
be over.
Nope, he is.
Wow, the commentary jukes. So Rick,
Yeah, I was gonna say if this was a football game, we'd be calling that a juke move.
Rick, it looks like the ultimate troll item of this seed, unless
Shovel.
good. That doesn't ruin what I was about to say. Where do you think we're gonna find Hookshot? Logically, it is not required to get into Ganon's tower, but it is required in Ganon's tower, unless you can hover, of course.
Ooh, I like the way you think. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. Now, this is one of those things where it's, do you have sympathy for the runners? Do you want it to be in their direct path? Or do you want it in, like, Pendant Swamp? That would be terrible.
Oh, that's a tough call to make if you have to go all the way to Pendant Swamp to get the hook shot to continue progression up Ganon's tower, because watch the boots be in the final chest of the game to prevent all cases of needing to hover.
So you're talking about the chest after Moldorm 2 is where you want the boots to be.
The chest after Moldworm 2.
Interesting. So both of the runners making it into pod, not necessarily finding anything. We'll see. The shovel is nice. The shovel gets you magic. It gets you an item. Gets you some hearts if you need, maybe a few rupees. But aside from that, I guess we're just kind of waiting for the next big item.
And the next big item could be anything at this point. We do know at some point we're going to have to find some swords. We definitely are going to need to find a sword if we don't know where the fire rod turns out to be, because we need to find a way to actually use that bombos we picked up.
It's true. Otherwise, you can't get through Ice Palace. So, I guess an interesting thought that I just had is that half magic is a lovely thing to find. No, half magic is lovely, but if they had found a bomb, they technically had access to, the magic bat, pretty much the beginning of the game. So they could have routed that in with Kakariko. I don't know if it's gonna, come up to be an important thing, but we'll see, right?
Well, they got the shovel, so that could give them some sort of incentive to go back to Kakariko. We know Freddeh still has yet to check the race game as well as the library. You know what would be another nasty spot at this point for something important to be?
Graveyard Ledge?
Well, Graveyard Ledge. That's an annoying spot as it is. But I was thinking, have Zora have something now that it's become a loose square, unless we find the mirror, and obviously then we can say that Zora has the mirror.
Right, of course.
And then we would have to have that be our access to the Tower of Hera.
It'd be neat to see the mirror at Catfish, just to have everything nice and tidy.
Well, you want to actually be nice to our runners?
Well, they don't have enough money yet, so it's not that I'm being nice. I think it's just logically pretty. Ooh, Freddeh getting too far away from the switch, so the bomb doing a double hit.
And then WeightyWords falls down and has the switch work out properly. So WeightyWords takes the lead as far as who makes it to the back part of this Palace of Darkness. And guess what? We're setting ourselves up for the hammer jump.
So this trick is quite an interesting one. It's two vertically perfect pixel locations that you have to be. First, you have to drop a bomb in a very specific spot. And then you have to get yourself into a specific spot. And then when it explodes, it'll shoot you perfectly sideways, as we're seeing on Freddie's screen. You have to hold up while you're flying over, otherwise you'll just fall off. It's a tough trick to learn, but once you do get it, there are a whole bunch of visual cues that you can use. It's not so bad. It's been an interesting pod so far. I don't know that... I mean, Half Magic was nice, but otherwise, not so good, right?
Just like Eastern, there really wasn't much there. As we're still looking for any sort of progression, that bomb upgrade is not it.
No, but we can almost hold all the bombs. We're getting to the point where we can hold enough bombs for the rest of the seed, doing bomb-only strats.
This is going to be a key for a key, and just like the big key chest is going to be a key for a key at this point, because you need to have that one key to get to the Helmsar King.
Absolutely. And without the mirror, you know, you have to do that trade. Or you could save and quit and walk all the way back, but that doesn't seem worth it at all to me.
Yeah, you're not saving a whole bunch of time by popping in here and doing the death abuse. You might as well just go ahead, continue forward.
So we're gonna Helmsar fight, and it's gonna be interesting. I think most people learn the Helmsar fight with this holding your sword out up top, so that the hammer gets the extra range from your sword. But without the sword, we're not going to be able to see those strats. So it'll be interesting to see how well these runners are practiced. I know WeightyWords has said that they've done a whole 2 NFG runs and have only been playing Randomizer for 4 months. So, you know, this is one of those kind of niche situations that maybe not a ton of practice. We're going to see. And same on Freddie's side. We'll see how comfortable they both are with this.
We've seen so many fairies during the course of this run already.
I'm fairly sure they're not going to die. With all of that luck.
I would hope not at this point.
Pretty uneventful turtle rooms. Making it through. No issues.
Alright, let's see how we do with this fight here. 17 hits with a hammer to remove the protective, whatever you want to call that, mask.
Switching to arrows. Interesting strategy. So I would have personally waited. The fireballs are coming. Wait to destroy the mask. But Weighty just going for it and using that time that the Helmsar was putting out the fireballs to shoot it in the jewel with arrows.
Are there any more upgrades left in this game as far as bomb and arrow capacities? Because I think we've almost seen them all by now.
Progressively holding more things.
This has been one of those unusual seeds where we're just waiting and waiting and waiting for the next line of progression. And WeightyWords is going to head on over towards Kakariko Village. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go ahead and check Magic Bat before heading into the Dark World.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that... It's a weird item to check. You kind of always hope to route it in with Mirror, but yeah, it's a weird one. It's as much as you're going to Kakariko, it's still a bit of a one-off.
And he's going to go ahead and check it.
Smart move. It's not super far off. Could pay off big. What if it's a sword? Probably going to be mad that he's had access to a sword for this long.
Yeah, but at least it's good getting the sword now before you head into Thieves Town.
That is very true. Freddie clearing up Helmsar. Going to Link's house. Maybe this is the time to go down. Check Shovel. Go see what's going on. on the maze game.
Mirror Magic Bat.
Wow. So mirror right away. It was in, pretty early availability. That would have made Pod a lot nicer.
And that now makes Death Mountain accessible as far as getting up there and getting over to the right-hand side.
Can do Hera now completely. Got a fire source. Got means to get in.
And just a heart piece at the dig spot.
So as Weighty makes their way into Thieves Town area, Evil Kakariko, Freddeh will likely be, setting themselves up to go do Magic Bat as well, because it's on the way up to the portal, which I imagine they're going to take too. So actually, pretty good routing. It was an interesting play, but works out, right?
Yeah, Freddeh may have known what he was doing all along. And Freddeh does have the money for Zora if he ever needs to go and head in that direction. And WeightyWords is going to go and check part of Skull Woods. It's a abandoned dungeon, so you don't necessarily have to beat this dungeon. Maybe it has something important inside.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, you can check 4 locations. Maybe 5, depending on if you find the big key. For 2 items. Not a bad trade. One of those things where you can just kind of get it off your mind.
So Freddeh about to pick up his mirror as WeightyWords travels and opens up the second chest of Skull Woods for 50 rupees.
Now, is that 50 rupees worth the walk back around to find that key? I don't know. I don't think so. What do you think, Rick? Worth the trade?
Ask me later when we see the second item.
Who knows if we will? Could be locked behind the fire rod.
I don't know. It's not going to be in this first section.
Nope.
Unless it's in the big chest, in which we still need the big key to get to it.
Yeah, we'll call that a minor technicality, though. So our runners can check the bumper cave and complete it if there's something nice there. It's been quite a while since I've actually seen something of significance there. But, it's rando. Any seed's a good seed for it. Alright, so Thieves Town will likely be the next player. We're still, finishing up Skull Woods. Freddie's going directly to Thieves Town, it looks like. But yeah, what are you hoping for now? What do you think the runners are gonna benefit from the most? A sword is nice, we know that, but
I think
otherwise,
I think the sword would be the best benefit right at this point. Let's give him a sword somewhere here in the village of outcasts. That's not a sword, that's a piece of heart.
half magic though, and Berna is a decent blind fight.
Well, you know the second item of Skull Woods is going to be behind the fire rod. Whether or not it's important, we'll find out later on.
Is that the hook shot? Who knows? Could be anywhere.
That's the book.
Ooh, that's actually kind of nice to find for Freddeh before going up. So, because if Freddeh does decide to check, Skull Woods at any point.
We see the first bottle here, and it looks like we are seeing Weighty at least attempt to get it, but Myrtle Dactyls are being Myrtle Dactyls.
Yeah, terrorizing the elf. I think Link is an elf. I've never been completely sure. Did Weighty just walk through that beetle?
Hitboxes, yo.
Game's weird, man.
Yeah, we're finding new ways to break it every single day.
I like that. So Freddie's playing as Sonic, and when you fairy just came in handy immediately. Opening up Thieves Town, you do a backwards roll. So Sonic rolling is probably the most appropriate thing I've seen outside of Sonic.
So WeightyWords not checking Graveyard Ledge just yet. It looks like he's heading for the Village of Outcast as well. About to get his literature, as well as what else we had in this town.
Yeah, nothing of major consequence aside from that book. I mean, the book is pretty big, and it'll be nice to have also before going up Death Mountain, another thing to get information on.
There's our first sword.
You called it, man. So we got a sword. We are, just to do the Go mode update, we are Hookshot, probably. Maybe boots. Another sword, and Samaria and gloves away from Go mode at this point. Oh, flute. And flute.
Yeah, I think we're still a little too distant away here to even get close to enjoying what Go mode could be for these runners. The fact that we had gone 40 minutes without a sword is telling enough. I hate going more than a half an hour without a sword.
Yeah, swordless seeds aren't exactly fun. I mean, unless you're doing a swordless thing, but then you're ready to deal with it. But when you don't have a sword, you think your other opponent could, it's just what advantage... That's always what it is, right? Like, what has my opponent got by this point that I haven't?
Exactly. And right now, so far, right now we've seen the lead between Freddeh and WeightyWords keep going back and forth. As WeightyWords opted to check Skull Woods, Freddeh did not go inside. So WeightyWords is about to pick up his first sword, coming up in about maybe less than 2 minutes from now, about a minute from now. As Freddeh gets ready to go down to blind.
They will have to check that chest at where the the big key chest, the big chest. Anyways, the big chest, because they found the map, that guarantees that something worth checking for is in there. It might end up being the compass, but they have that key. Two spots left.
I think Freddie's now up to about 8 fairies we've seen so far this run.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
We see the piece of heart coming out of the big chest. So that's 3 items we've seen now in Thieves Town.
Yep.
And so far, the sword is probably the bigger development because that now allows us to use the 3 medallions.
You are 100% correct on that one. It doesn't allow us to use them in any meaningful way other than, destruction. But we're getting there. We can't get into Mire, and we can't get into Turtle Rock. Not that either of these runners want to at this point.
Yeah, going into either of those dungeons at this stage in the run is not necessarily what you really want to do. As we go ahead and see Blind coming up next here. We know Blind will have the final item of Thieves Town.
Maybe it's another sword.
Haven't you wanted another sword?
I always want another sword.
Yeah, same here.
The gold shield and sword combo is, what I'm all about.
But it's just rupees in the end. And we get our 3rd crystal of the seed.
That's pretty good. 43 minutes, or 44 almost. 3 crystals, just finding a sword. Access to Hera. I mean, that seems like the next play. We can get into Desert now. Can maybe beat it.
Yeah, unless boots are required.
But we can find out at least. And knowledge is power.
Freddeh not opting to check the lumberjack, or not the lumberjack, the bumper cave at this point, is beelining it for Graveyard Ledge. Will he check Quake as well? No, he can't. Yeah, he can get to Quake, never mind.
Yes. I don't know, maybe gonna mirror back. Because checking Bumper Cave sets you up to go up to Death Mountain.
Oh, that's right. You are right. That definitely works for routing purposes.
Freddie's made some, I guess, routing where it's, because even then I had to think about it for a second, like, oh, why isn't, but Freddie's made some good routing decisions that have caught me off guard. I think both of us too. Can't do King's Tomb, can't do Bumper Cave, unfortunately. Oh man, could you imagine if King's Tomb had a pair of gloves? No one's coming back for those anytime soon.
That's rude.
Hey, I'm just calling it like I think about it. Very good blind fight on WeightyWords side. Did you know blind is a scripted fight?
Yes. I'm always off script.
Freddie opting to get that bottle as well. I think WeightyWords forgot. I didn't see them check it before, and I admit I might have missed that. But so we don't know what Sitka has.
He did check. It was a piece of heart.
Ah, okay. But I totally missed it.
All right, digging game time. One of the digs between 1 and 3 is going to be our item today. Let's see if this can't be anything important.
Lucky number 7. Come on. Oh, it's
Nope. Number 3. All for 20 rupees. Yay.
That's, I mean, it's not too bad. At least it puts you back over the 500 minimum to go back up to Zora eventually. Maybe.
Yeah, but you're likely going to find those rupees in the digging game either way.
Fair enough. I guess on a long enough dig line. You are correct.
Haunted Grove gives us 50 more rupees.
Who's hiding 50 rupees in a cave that's very hard to get to? Is that like geocaching of Hyrule or something?
A single arrow at the old man on the mountain as we get the boomerang off Stumpy.
It's the age-old debate of Rando. Which camp are you in, Rick? Red meringue or blue meringue?
Well, I think we'll go with the blue meringue since it doesn't entice any lag. As we see what's inside Spectacle Rock, there's our next sword upgrade. That's beautiful for routing.
Absolutely. And Freddie's... Nope, going back.
Yeah, he realizes, I can check the ether while I'm up here with this sword, so I might as well grab it.
Absolutely. It's always hard to walk away from a sword no matter what you're about to do next, too.
And we find Couchcast is at the Bombos as WeightyWords looks like he's making the play over at Desert.
So we're starting to get a bit of divergence. We got 2 crystals that are going to be tackled very soon. And we're going to find out if we do need boots. Well, you know, at least one of the 2 places we can need boots for at this point.
All right, so Desert has 2 items inside. The Tower of Hera will have 2 items inside. Freddie will check the ether before making his way into the Tower of Hera. And 20 rupees, guess what? You ain't gonna beat this dungeon without the boots.
Nope. Now, WeightyWords is not going to try and break into the key door.
Yeah, he's heading for Agina right now.
Yep. Smart time to do it. There's always the option of stealing the key from the back, checking the 2 other items.
Ooh, Ice Rod comes off the ether. That's not how the game works. You're supposed to give me ether, not the Ice Rod.
Even then, you don't want to see it. Ice Rod is bad. It means Trinex is killable at some point. Fire Rod is probably going to be on the way. Pretty useful for things. You're not upset seeing Fire Rod.
10 arrows at Agina, so he had absolutely nothing. As 1 small key in hand, will Freddie be able to go upstairs without going downstairs? No, he's got to go downstairs.
Not fun at all. So we get a coffee break here.
I'll be right back.
All right, now that Rick is gone, what are we planning, chat? Freddie getting the glitch. Or I guess just standing on the blocks. You're raised above the tiles. WeightyWords making, one of the most item-dense plays left at this point. There's a few. Can still do Catfish. Can still do Zora. But, WeightyWords still has Graveyard Ledge, so those 3 items could have checked, but Up Death Mountain is a very good play. They'll get their Master Sword. Their single arrow from the old man.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome.
I had to go steal some coffee from Willard's stash.
That was a quick trip to California. Was it still sunny there?
I was going to make an always sunny joke, but that's Philadelphia.
If you're going to Philly, though, you might as well get like a cheesesteak. That would be the way to go.
Yeah, I know.
I'm making myself hungry.
Yeah, we better stop this right now.
With that said, as soon as we start, talking about food and getting off topic, I'm guessing the next item in here is going to be the mushroom.
So let's get back on topic.
Totally.
Freddie, mini Moldorms, chest, blue goo, or green goo rather. Weighty, Master Sword.
You, Rick, me, Felix.
Big chest, WeightyWords, trying bomb jump. Second item is going to be on Moldorm.
You went full Shatner for a second there. I liked it. Yeah, so Moldorm, they have the hammer. Shouldn't be too bad. You can also do Master Sword spins. Not a bad time.
The further the further along this seed goes, the more I'm beginning to think that Zora had something.
Well, we got 7 spots left to check on East Death Mountain. Then probably back up to Catfish and Zora, at least for WeightyWords, because Freddie might go to Desert next.
Ooh. Pokes Moldorm, so we're going to get the fast stage, stay on the platform, gets him.
Look like he was hiding under Moldorm at the end there.
Red Rupee turns out to be the second item of the Tower of Hera, so the continuing question is, where are the important items?
Chat pointing out we could have a Spike Cave check. That'll probably be at the end of this, I guess, walk at this point. You're already on top. Might as well go to East Death Mountain.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for progression. It's been this, opens up, then it closes quite a bit, and then it opens up, and it's sort of a linear seed so far.
Yeah, and so far, none of the dungeons have provided us with any progression outside of the one sword that was in Thieves Town, but even there, we really have not seen any major progression in any dungeon.
It's tough. I bet you these runners are not happy about it.
Another bottle of green goo turns out to be in Spiral Cave. That gives us 3 bottles on the seed. So as Freddie makes his way over to the Paradox at 55 minutes into this run, just a reminder, this is a 4-2 match. The magic number is 5 wins. That guarantees you a spot in the 128-person brackets that begin after we are done with the 7-week Swiss round. We found our hook shot in Paradox Cave.
You know, I'm okay with that. I didn't really want it to be in a pendant dungeon. That's just rule. But yeah, hookshot's good. Silvers are also good.
Arrows, yeah. There's the 4th bottle. 3 of them were green goo. The other one had a fairy in it.
Lots of sports drink. Freddie's setting up the bomb jump. We'll see if WeightyWords does the Tower of Hera bomb jump. Looks like it. Getting set up for it. Getting double bomb jump action on Speed Gaming 2.
Gets it after a little bit of trouble, and we find the 10 bomb as Freddie makes his way over towards the bumper cave.
Yeah, looks like they're going to Spike Cave. But
Yeah,
WeightyWords,
Spike Cave, yeah.
that bomb jump setup is actually, you know, a consistent one. Like you learn to do it. So dropping bombs in that spot puts you, you know, right at the pixel that you want to be. Works out every time. One of those ones that I should probably learn, but have not. Ooh.
Triple spins for the win for WeightyWords. Finishes off the dungeon. We'll be heading over towards the east side of Death Mountain afterwards. So guess what we have the ability to complete at this point?
Is it a pendant dungeon?
Yes, it is.
Is it Swamp Palace?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I'm so good at this game.
Congratulations.
Tough call.
Now is Freddie making the play?
So it's a very tough call. I feel like Freddie's maybe gonna go check desert first. Again, it's still one of those like positive progression things that you can do, where crystals are always helpful, and well, pendants maybe. We don't know. We haven't figured that information out yet. What do you think? Is Freddie going to Swamp?
No, not yet. He's going to go ahead and do some overworld checks. Check the cave south of Haunted Grove. These are checks we already saw from WeightyWords, so we know that they will become irrelevant. He will have his boomerang real soon. Or no, he won't. He already has it, doesn't he? No, that's right, the boomerang.
Yes. The inferior one. Doesn't even go across the whole screen. And it's not sparkly.
Well, you like sparkly things?
I think it's well known that I'm very easily distracted by sparkly things.
I'll remember that if I have to face you in brackets, if we both make it.
I'm not sure what you'll do with that information, but fair enough. You do what you got to do to win, Rick. I respect it.
Pray for early Buttersword, Buttersword, Silver Arrows, Randomizer, and why not add the Mirror Shields for extra lag?
So you're just saying, like, me sitting there slashing my sword because it's all shiny, chucking a boomerang as I'm walking down paths.
Yes.
All right. I'm good with that. It sounds pretty fun.
So, since Zora is now pretty much a loose square, unless we check Catfish, which is also a loose square, what do you think Zora is going to have?
I'm going to say the boots.
Oh, please. That would be funny.
It's one of those ones where, I mean, we know it's necessary for Desert Palace at this point. Freddie's gonna go find that out really soon. But it's also one of those like, oh, I could have had this the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point, you've got to wonder where you are in relation to your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even we've had a couple of those like major gut check times of, oh, did they get the hammer this super early? But you know, it hasn't really paid off finding that stuff because they've both been doing the same thing.
Both of these runners are going to be on even terms once Freddeh checks out. In fact, WeightyWords may have already checked out more stuff than Freddeh has already.
Freddie's done Graveyard Ledge, which is actually slightly detrimental because WeightyWords can put that and Catfish and Zora together. But they're pretty much on even ground. I think. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is I think WeightyWords is making the play.
Well, I think it'll probably be the swamp play.
He's making the play.
They're all the play. Every play is a play.
How many acts is it?
I think there's 3. There's always the early game, there's the mid game, there's the end game. And sometimes the end game is a little more tragic in D29. I need Ice Rod, and I have everything available. Great.
But there's the 4th act.
The fall into the pyramid?
No.
Go on.
The act where you uninstall the ROM because you're so annoyed with it afterwards.
You are absolutely correct in that. That's the epilogue.
Yeah, right. So Freddie's going to go check to see what he's got here. Sees the key. So he now knows his fate. It looks like he may have thought about stealing a key at first, but opted not to do so.
Yeah, might as well come back. I mean, maybe it's flute, right? Maybe you'll find flute in there, but even then, that puts you in a weird sequence break path. I imagine we're going to see them on track again, both in sync, both, a minute apart from each other.
In the same dungeon, fighting the same bosses. Yeah.
So, pretty linear.
This seed is linear, but it's not linear. It's like this thing is giving you directions where to go, but it's not being real straight and honest with you.
No, definitely not.
It's like the old men in Zelda 1. It gives you half answers to where you need to go, but it's up to you to figure it out.
But nobody's told us how dangerous it is.
And that there are secrets where fairies don't lie.
We just have the fairies.
And we've seen about 100 fairies so far this seed.
So there's no secrets. I mean, the uncle is pretty honest with us. Talking about red now.
Yeah, we've yet to see it. At least this isn't the old man that tells you that this seed is the worst.
Is it accurate? Is it always accurate? Is every seed the worst? Are we just stuck in a continuous time loop of rando?
Ask these two runners.
We'll find out
WeightyWords
soon.
almost made a catastrophic error.
Don't flood the key.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So, we got the left screen, we got the right screen. Pretty much the same screen, same tiling.
I want ice cream.
We all scream for ice cream.
Yeah, let's not go down this path. We already talked once about food. We already know that we can't find any vanilla here.
How about chocolate or strawberry?
Well, we could find that. Or maybe we can find a barbecue and find where the fire rod is.
Ooh. That would be nice. Then you do need the power mitt, so you make sure you don't burn yourself out, right?
Well, yeah, but we'll get to that eventually.
The big key. All right. So that is nice for Freddie to find. Or not Freddie.
WeightyWords ends up getting just arrows on the left side so far, unless this big key yields something nice inside the big chest. Freddie may be on the right move at this point, as Freddie will be the first one to the backside of Swamp.
Nobody wants the swampy backside.
No comment.
The downside, though, the left side did have an item. Unfortunately,
Ouch.
yeah, the big chest did not. But that 10 arrows might lure Freddie back.
I don't see Freddie doing it at this point.
Not after finding those mitts, anyways. Gloves.
Yeah, we found our progression. It's behind the hook shop. Wait, is there any more progression in here? Freddie's going to find 5 out of the 6 items, which may more entice him to get on out of here after he's done.
It's true. You found some major progression. Get on out. Go back up to Death Mountain. Check that stuff that was locked behind the hookshot, which you need to get into Hookshot Cave. That was mean. It was kind of like, hey, go away and then come back. Anyways.
So, Felix.
Yes.
Guess what's open to us now?
Is it Ice Palace?
It's Ice Palace. WeightyWords is getting out of here.
Ooh, interesting move.
And remember, this is the green pendant. WeightyWords has opted, I'm going to ice.
It's a bold move, Rick. We'll see if it pays off.
I thought you were going to call me Cotton.
I had to stop myself. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, because I think Argus has an item, right?
I don't know. Did we see the map?
I believe we did, but if not, we will see very soon.
Yeah, there it is. There's the map.
What I meant was that Argus has a pendant that gets you an item.
Well, yeah, it does. So we need to bombos our way through the Ice Palace. WeightyWords continuing on this progression. This is the end of the 5-6 chain. This could be leading us somewhere.
This is exciting. Ooh, that could lead back up to Catfish and Zora for the boots.
Boots, Cane of Samaria, and Flute still required in our to-do list for Go Mode.
It is quite nice that they have the Master Sword at least. So as both of our runners do the exact same thing again, we've got time to speculate, Rick.
Yes, we do. We can talk about the 2 possible items that could be on the pedestal.
Ooh, you're right.
Actually, well, technically 2 items, but the third one could be a fetch quest.
Yeah. So we could find the mushroom.
Correct.
The flute.
Correct.
Or there's not even some other one I can make a joke about. It's boots, but boots are at Zora, so.
You're right.
I don't know, Rick. Do you want to see a pedestal seed today?
I want to see a pedestal seed in any run that I'm not a part of.
Is that the misery loves company sort of thing?
I had to deal with Quake as my pedestal item, and then had to worry about the stress of having the mushroom as the pedestal on another seed in this tournament.
I had to blind pull the ether medallion to get into Misery Mire. That was fun. Yeah, let's have a pedestal seat. I've been burned before.
Wasn't that the race I did commentary on?
I do believe. I do believe. Both of these runners having a very clean ice palace so far. Getting the bomb jumps. WeightyWords style, at least Freddie's about set up for it. Getting more bombs.
We love finding bombs. Nice bomb jump.
WeightyWords doing pretty well with the bomb jumps.
Freddeh having some issues with the ice palace bomb jump.
It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. So,
WeightyWords' execution here in this ice palace has been pretty strong.
Absolutely. Yeah, WeightyWords is, again, been playing this game for 4 months. At least the randomizer. 2 NMG runs. Very impressive.
He's going to have to be careful, but he does have the ability to powder the anti-fairies to get some health.
They have so much stored magic, though. You can just throw up Burna or the cape and just kind of walk around with that for the rest of the dungeon.
I keep waiting to find some progression. We have not.
I mean, we still got a whole bunch of places for nothing to be until we fan back into, like 2 spots to check for the next thing.
So we are down to the map. And I want to say with 2 keys in hand, we've already seen all the keys for Ice Palace, so I'm not 100% certain on that.
I think
we're going to find another key still. But there's the Cane of Samaria.
Excellent find here. Excellent find. The downside, though, is that you can get into Turtle Rock.
And how is that a downside?
Well, it's a pendant. It's another... So? Well, I mean, you might feel differently. But basically, I'm all for my options being limited by the items that I have. As I'm looking for more stuff. The more limited your options are, the more likely you are to get to go mode without having to do every dungeon.
This seed would be worse if we find the fire rod. That's the piece of heart. That's item number 3. WeightyWords, if he wanted to, could go right straight to Cold Stare.
Yeah, maybe just going back up and falling through the hole where the big chest is, but...
Yeah, I think he's going to do that to push the block so he can preserve his magic for the Cold Stare fight, but he's got half magic, and I don't think there's going to be any sort of issues going on here.
No, and no fire rod to help out with that fight either, right? So
yeah, so maybe he's wanting to hold on to his magic for cape usage or the Cane of Burna use.
Both very good strats. Cold Stare can be a tough fight, especially with only a Master Sword. But the game does intend you to have blue mail at this point. You get in this dungeon.
Well, you're going to have green mail when you come into this dungeon in the vanilla game, but
yes,
you'll get the blue once you get to the big chest. You just have to go through the merry-go-round of the dungeon in order to get to it.
Yes. It's not a fun dungeon to route the first time you play it.
And if you notice, these Cold Stare puffs are doing 3 hearts of damage here to WeightyWords, so he's going to have to be semi-careful. I mean, he's got the safety, so he should be fine as long as he gets ready to pull him out. And if I'm him, I would start pulling that out now just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, there's nothing Bombas can do for you at this point. But WeightyWords doing pretty well.
Yeah, he did get a nice double hit just a moment ago there with hitting one against the wall and then hitting it again. And he's one of them down, but this still is a stressful fight as long as they still live. And there we go. They both are done.
Didn't even need the safeties. And there's our final key. Freddeh, on the other hand.
Which means that you needed to have the Cane of Samaria to beat the dungeon, but the Cane of Samaria was in the dungeon.
So it all checks out. So Freddie, having picked up their cane, which we know is logically required, let's go into the cold stare fight. See if Freddie does it differently. These runners are very close.
Yeah, this is still a very, very stressful race because we don't know who's going to have this lead until there's going to be a defining moment coming up at some point where a runner's going to make a gamble. It could be up to Death Mountain to check the right-hand side with Super Bunny Cave as well as the Hookshot Cave. It could be making a play for Turtle Rock because we've seen Turtle Rock have progression in V29 regardless of whether or not it's a pendant. But WeightyWords is making the play for the Pyramid Fairy.
It's a good check. We got the Catfish Zora thing on the way that I can't stop talking about, apparently. Or back up to, East Dark Death Mountain.
It's not every time you see a runner have 39 bombs in their arsenal.
That's so many bombs.
With a giant red one in tow for them for number 40. And Freddie finishes off with the cold stare fight. Pretty good job for Freddie. No major issues. All right, Pyramid Fairy has Heart Container, and there's our fetch quest. Now that's going to get WeightyWords up towards Catfish.
Yeah, it actually works out pretty well. It's another incentive to go in that general direction.
There's one main difference between our runners at this point. Freddie has the green pennant out of Swamp. WeightyWords noped out of that waterfall room. If that green pennant's required, well, that's another advantage here for Freddie, but will he check it? I don't know. WeightyWords is probably checking Graveyard Ledge now first before he makes the Catfish play.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick check when you have, the gloves. Just being able to go back, go check Catfish, go check Mushroom, and then save and quit after you've spoken to Zora. It's a good piece of routing. Freddie likely doing the same thing. Won't have to go to Graveyard Ledge. They've already checked it. But yeah, these runners are pretty much on top of each other. It'll be curious to see when Freddie goes to turn in that green pendant. It's not exactly on the way now, or Catfish and Zora become out of the way.
Yeah, here's the thing about finding that Cane of Samaria. It opens nothing. Yeah, you can get into Turtle Rock, but you can't beat it, and nor do you really want to go in there. Yeah, maybe with a flute, we can get ourselves into Misery Mire, but we have no idea where that flute is.
Nope. Flute and boots. Those are what we need.
The worst thing to find right now would be the Fire Rod.
It's true. But I guess it's still a load off someone's mind, right?
Oh, for me, if I see that, it's screaming Ped Steed. There's the red mail that's for cowards. Freddie's checking that green pendant. And I'll tell you what, if this is a pedestal required seed, or if Sahasrahla has something, advantage Freddie. Although I'm not certain how Freddie's routing this at this point. Looks like he's going all the way down here, but he didn't have to go this deep to do this check. All right, Sahasrahla has the Fire Rod.
Wow. So that's kind of big. I don't foresee Weighty going back into Swamp anytime soon, which means that there are some rooms in Ganon's Tower that Weighty might have to do with just the lamp. Tough situation to be in.
WeityWords just checking Zora. 2 items away from go mode. The boots the flute. Oh, Weighty does not have enough rupees. He bought the potion.
Oh no, that is a big miscalculation. Maybe.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. 467, not that far off either. Maybe could have found a couple 20 rupees, but
Yeah, it was all because he bought the potions when he turned in the mushroom. Boots!
that's exciting. We are a flute away from go mode. The pedestal dream is still alive, but we are one item away. Wow, and they found everything else too. Got a full bingo board, as it were. As we've got our lovely tracker almost full, just want to give a quick shout out to our lovely tracker, Dragon Master, keeping us up to date.
Freddie is going after something. Is he going after the 10 bombs?
Maybe?
Or
Maybe
has he not even checked this?
Yeah, it looks like
Well, nonetheless, he got the 10 bombs.
yeah. Got the 10 bombs. Up to 23 now.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near Weighty, who has 42 explosives.
Yeah. That could be the difference maker.
And he pulls the thing for 10 rupees. Of course. Now here comes a very critical moment here. If it turns out that the flute is behind the fire rod,
Ooh, yeah,
Freddie
I guess
has a huge advantage.
absolutely. I mean, even in the back of Skull Woods at this point, but
Yeah, we
he's
know.
running out of places.
And we know one item is behind the fire rod block in Skull Woods. But also, I'm betting at this point, WeightyWords may opt to go towards Desert. Check the Bonk Rocks, check King's Tomb at this point.
Yeah, finding the boots gives a bunch of progression. Able to complete another dungeon. We're missing an item in Desert. Can you imagine if Desert had the flute?
That's also a possibility at this point.
Even still, I mean, Weighty finding go mode first. Yes, the fire rod is something pretty useful. There's the right side of GT, unless you do the bomb jumps, is pretty tough to do.
That's right. And now Freddie's going to give us some important information over here on the right hand side. Weighty's going to get this key. He's going to go straight to the chain chomp room.
Yep.
Okay. Big key. Oh, okay. So Weighty was going to be kind of limited at how far he can get in this dungeon, but he will have the keys at least to get to Mimic Cave.
Yeah. So some I guess area in. Ooh. Unfortunately, nothing fair. Unfortunately, the ice rod does not kill the cactuses like we saw on Freddy's screen. Fire rod cleans up everything pretty nicely.
So this was guaranteed to be a small key.
Yeah, but only because we knew that. WeightyWords didn't know that.
Right. We knew it was. WeightyWords gets a sigh of relief at this point.
Yep.
Amazing. Imagine if Flute isn't here. If it's somewhere else. And WeightyWords, because he doesn't have the fire rod, gets out of here and gets an advantage out of it.
Imagine on the flip side if it is in the big key chest. Got a couple of interesting possibilities.
Freddeh getting the fire rod, kill the pokey.
Yeah,
WeightyWords.
turned into Mario.
Going through, here's the big key chest, and that is 50 rupees. It's just so amazing that this run has had both runners in the same dungeons pretty much all throughout this race. For the past 85 minutes, it's been nothing but the same dungeons for these two.
It's interesting because it's hard to say who's in the lead at this point. It all comes down to where the flute is. Like I don't even think we can tell, right?
We really can't at this point until the flute comes up. It is still a possibility that's on the pedestal, and I believe at this point, if it's on the pedestal, that is a major advantage here for Freddeh. We're already seeing what the fire rod advantage is as far as killing these pokies are.
Very true. Very true. Again, this come up again, this tower. This is even if it's not, like, this is a time where the item differences that aren't standard. Like, normally you don't expect people to have a fire rod or not, right? Like,
this is the last chance here for WeightyWords. Freddeh goes to the Mimic Cave and he finds the flute is in Mimic Cave.
Oh my!
26-19. Freddeh is the first of these two into.
It's go mode. It's go mode. Wow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it was Mimic Cave.
Weighty's gonna think that he's got himself a big advantage at this point, considering the fact that he noped out of doing the green pendant. Little does he know that the execution from not having that green pendant goes to Freddie's side at this point, but it's going to come down to execution at this point. I'm going to say this, though. What if the big key turns out to be in its vanilla location in Meyer?
That'll be tough. You can still do it with the lamp, at least. It takes more time.
You can yeah, that's exactly what I mean, though. It's every little second's going to add up at this point, and something like that could make the difference at this point for WeightyWords.
Yeah. So I guess just to clarify, fire rod for the logic is needed for right side, but runners can get around that. They don't have to use the fire rod. You can bomb jump at the top of Ganon's tower. You can get to all the torches without using the fire rod. I mean, that's typical.
Synchronized entry into the Meyer area.
Are they checking for swords? Or are they just going?
Well, Freddie's going right straight to Meyer. Weighty's checking Meyer's shed.
Interesting. This is exciting. This is exciting. I hope we...
Top brick sword in Meyer's shed!
Oh. What a rush. Now, Rick, we know you're excited. This seed is close. We got a fire rod versus a sword difference.
Yeah. This could be a lot of fun to watch coming down the stretch.
Oh, it will be. These runners have put on a great show so far, and I expect nothing less as this goes forward. WeightyWords making their way through Desert Palace. And Rick, where do you think this key is going to be? Are we going to get the fabled God Meyer?
No, I think this is where we're going to see the fire rod come into play. Big key vanilla location.
Interesting.
Bump this in the first chest. We know we're going to get a key out of the next chest.
We might have an early tell. If they go... Freddie goes to the left side. And we see that key in, I guess, the vanilla map room.
Nope, big key there. Never mind. Godmeyer.
Godmeyer. It's Godmeyer. Having silvers is very nice here. without the tempered sword?
What if that's the sword difference here between these two runners and Freddie never checks Myers' shed?
Ooh, the seat has so many things that make this so close and so hard to say. Anyone who's joining now, I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer for you on who's in the lead. They're effectively tied. It's going to come down to execution. Rick, do you want to give us a quick recap how we got here?
WeightyWords stalked Freddie. WeightyWords continued to stalk Freddie. Freddie stalked WeightyWords. We found really no progression until we got into... Well, where was the actual progression in the Dark World at this point? Because I'm forgetting.
Swamp Palace.
Well, Swamp Palace had the Titans Bit. That opened up the door for this seed, but...
No, we didn't even, it was the sword in Thieves Town. We found Mirror at Magic Bat, which got you up to Eastside Death Mountain, which got you Hookshot. There hasn't been a ton of progression in the Dark World.
This has been a weird siege. It's the fact that there's been very little progression at all. As Freddie finishes off with Vitreous, he's done. Would be really nice if Freddie finds a sword to even things up, because very unlikely Freddie's going to check that Myers shed coming out of here.
Yeah, let's see if that happens.
Ooh. Freddie has the Fire Rod. That was the green pendant reward from Sahasrara for clearing out Swamp.
We found Samaria in Ice Palace.
And Freddie is skipping Myers shed.
Oh, Boots was in, I guess, the Dark World, but that was, way later. This has had item that has led to item that has led to item that has led to item. It's been, mostly linear.
Yeah, this has been linear, but it's been as I mentioned before, this was one where you had to do some critical thinking to figure out where your progression was to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It wasn't easy. None of the decisions were like, I'll just go here and find things. It was on, it was something I would expect to see in a well-made Plando.
But we don't just need a Plando as Freddie gets ready to mirror out, and he's gonna finish this thing off and find out what the second item, or find out one of the items in Desert, maybe. Gets the compass. Not a great reward.
So we are sword. Freddie's got Fire Rod. WeightyWords has Tempered Sword. Otherwise, they've both got everything they need.
This is going to be quite the hilarity of Ganon's Tower big key check, too.
It'll be interesting to see if the net comes into play at all. If WeightyWords takes an unfortunate death because they don't have the ability to capture a fairy. They do have the potions. But there are some small differences. Freddie's got the magic. WeightyWords has... Did WeightyWords grab blue potions?
I want to say yes, because remember, he didn't have enough money for Zora.
Right. I just wasn't exactly sure which potions were purchased. Just want to make sure my facts are straight.
Stay tuned. This is going to come down to Ganon's Tower, but it's not going to come down to Ganon's Tower the way you would expect it to.
Freddie just showing off with that Fire Rod. Ooh, that last
Got him just barely, too.
Wow. So they are both coming out of these two dungeons same time.
Okay, this is going to make things a little difficult for us on the big key guessing game, but we're going to focus on one runner and one runner only, and it's going to be the first one to enter the tower. So go ahead, Felix.
Do you want to start our game? The chat knows what to do.
Yeah, I already started it. You go ahead and discuss it.
Perfect. So I'm going to throw out that I'm guessing number 7. And what that means is we've got 22 possible locations for this big key. They've got the option of going right. There's 2 chests there. If you go left, right off the bat, there's 2 chests there, and then it's locked by key. Then, whole bunch of items on the left. We're going to see what happens. Get your guesses in, folks. 1 to 22. If you are a subscriber to Speed Gaming or have donated 250 bits, you can get put on the leaderboard if you win. It's going on throughout this whole tournament. And get your names up there. Get the high scores.
Okay. Reminder that this is going to get cut off. Freddie, where are you going? Freddie! Go back! There we go!
So I'm guessing, unless there's a major issue, we're going to be watching WeightyWords for that number count.
Yeah, we're going to be doing WeightyWords. If Freddie finds the big key first, that's great, but for the intent purposes of our count, it is going to be WeightyWords number that we are checking.
Now that's going to pose an interesting risk if Freddie goes right side and Weighty does not. But we'll sort that out when we get to it.
All right, here we go. And just remember, WeightyWords does not have the fire rod. That could come into play if it's on right-hand side. And first, we find a map. We find 10 arrows. Nothing enticing WeightyWords to go right-hand side. Freddie going right-hand side as well. We'll get the 2 same items. So number 3 coming up.
Ooh, just red rupees. So, this is going to give us keys that would allow Freddie to potentially go back right. Doing the so-called Dark Magician route, or at least part of it, potentially.
And don't forget, Freddie has the disadvantage of a sword at this point. If we find butter for WeightyWords, that's a huge advantage. That's going to be huge for Freddie if he gets the tempered sword. Key City, and then a piece of heart to end things off. So at 7, still no.
8's going to be the fire bar room. Rick, what is your guess? I didn't get to hear it.
It's too late for me to get my guess in. I was going to go with 11, but still could very well be it, but I kind of have influence on my decision at this point.
Well, you're a pretty honorable fellow. I'll trust that, you wouldn't have changed your answer. Plus, I don't think you beat our chat to number 11 anyways. I know I didn't beat them to 7. No. I saw 7 fly out there immediately.
So we come up here to the Fire Snake room. This is chest number 9 coming up here for WeightyWords, and number 9 has a small key. Freddie having a little bit of issue in that long chamber, which put him a little further back. And Freddie can't really afford to lose ground at this point.
No, not at all. The sword difference being huge.
Yeah, again, it kind of mixes itself if we find the 4th sword upgrade in here, which we could very well.
Piece of heart containers. What's that? 12, 13, 14, 15?
Nope, that's 13. Bob's 14.
Right. We will get to see Bob today.
So things can get very interesting for WeightyWords if it's not in the next 4 chests. Because that's where the fire rod difference comes into play now.
Absolutely. For those confused why we call it Bob and what that means, as WeightyWords goes into this next room, you're going to see a sprite that looks a little weird. That's
that
Bob.
One right there. Bye, Bob. 14 is no.
We found those bomb upgrades.
Freddie's going right side.
Ooh, interesting. Now that's a good play. You're gonna have to potentially come back to behind Ice Armos anyways.
Yeah, so here we go. The back 3 of the Ice Armos have 300 rupees, compass, and red rupee. WeightyWords has to go right-hand side.
So we got the tile room, and we got the rest of the right side. If it's tile room, that works out pretty well for WeightyWords. Maybe they'll do it first without that fire rod. I don't know. This is tough.
And there it is on the right-hand side!
Oh, wow. WeightyWords is doing tile room, hoping quite a bit. So
and then once again, we are keeping count on WeightyWords since he was the first one into Ganon's tower. So what Freddie found, we can't mark that as the number just yet. It's all based on when WeightyWords finds the big chest himself, or the big key himself.
So, now, I gotta say, do you think WeightyWords would do the tile room if they had the fire rod?
No.
Not a chance, right?
This is last chance saloon for him to find it. Arrow upgrade. He's gonna have to do bomb strats.
Setting up properly so WeightyWords knows what to do. You gotta go up in this room. So you have, when you fall down a hole, and there will be one, you start up at the top. You gotta run your way down as quick as possible. Quick little bonk there. Conveyor belts are tricky. Freddeh getting in the gauntlet.
Yeah, this is not game over here for WeightyWords by any stretch of the imagination. If he pulls this off, he's still close enough that this Master Sword versus Tempered Sword could make a difference. Bomb jump attempt here by Weighty, ends up missing it.
Almost gets the grab. That would have been very bad. Would have had to set up this whole room again.
All right, let's see if he can pull it off this time. Nope, he can't. Oh my goodness. This is going to be nerves at this point.
And it's not an easy bomb jump. There's a conveyor belt. You got wall masters.
And you've got that beam firing at you at the same time.
It's tough. It's very tough. Freddeh through the gauntlet onto Landmo 2, flexing that fire rod.
Yeah, he's waiting for the wall master to come down.
So, for those just joining in, catching up,
Falling down again.
making use of one of those green potions, Freddeh found the fire rod after completing Swamp Palace, a place that was required to get the power gloves. Titansmiths? Titansmiths.
Yep, Titansmith.
And found that fire rod.
Got the jump.
Got the jump.
Okay, let's see if we can't pull this off now.
Let's go, Weighty.
Gonna have to wait that wall master out. That's not good.
It's very
Come
tight
on.
timing.
This is gonna be very, very close. Will he get it? Will he get it?
Oh.
No, he doesn't!
That was so close.
And he's running out of health too. This is getting to be very dangerous now. He does have that blue goo. He ends up using it. Freddeh going up to the 6th floor.
Won't need to stop for any keys. From the mini helmas.
But he may open up a chest here, seeing if he can't find Tempered Sword.
It's a good check. It's a good check.
Okay, round 2 here for WeightyWords. Let's see if he can't get this done this time around.
Ooh.
All right, getting some trouble here. Getting bonked around by the spikes already. This could be bad timing. He's not going to get it.
Nope. Just get set back up again. Freddeh, on the other hand, going Moldworm 2, taking time to get some fairies.
And falls down to Moldworm 2.
This is what Weighty needs. Yeah. That,
This is tough just to keep watching WeightyWords, hoping that he can pull this off at least so he can get this big key. We're still waiting to give the official results on this. Is Freddeh falling down again at Moldworm 2?
Moldworm 2 is the great equalizer. More so than Ganon, more so than Aga 2. Come on, Weighty. You got this.
And The problem is that everything is firing at him at the same exact time. Could he get it this time? No, he doesn't. He's too far over to the left.
Pixel off.
Yeah, and Freddeh falling down to Moldorm 2 a third time.
So it's been an interesting race. We've seen Freddeh do some, pretty good routing stuff, comboing things together.
Falling down a fourth time. I
think Weighty's had very good execution throughout this entire match. This bomb jump aside. Again, this is a incredibly difficult trick to do. As you said, Rick, everything has to come together.
5 falls to Moldorm 2.
Ooh, step forward. Lost position.
And he's falling down and he can't take the bomb anymore. Down to a half a heart. He's going to go for the health replenishment here. Freddeh falling a 6th time, and Weighty is leaving.
Oh, wow. Going to look for that fire rod, I guess.
Freddeh finally going to the magic cape. Freddeh trying to get him. Gets him finally.
Weighty checking for the fire rod. We know where it is. We know it's in the back of swamp. You need that green pendant. Go talk to Sahasrahla. Freddeh in the final room with enemies before Aga 2. Now the final room before the very top of Ganon's tower. Whew.
And Weighty doesn't have the green pendant.
No.
He noped out a swamp.
It's a risk. It's a gamble. It's always a gamble. That's what makes Rando so exciting to watch. And play,
Freddeh almost finished off with this Aga 2 fight. There it is. Aga 2 is down, and Freddeh now making his way to the Ganon. Gonna have to do him with a Master Sword, but silver arrows in his arsenal. A berth into brackets on the line.
This is our round 7 of the Swiss part of our spring 2018 A Link to the Past Randomizer standard Swords Randomized tournament. It is quite the mouthful. We've had 7 rounds. They've worked their way to a 4-2 record. 5-2 is guaranteed bracket spots. As Weighty sword spins towards the end. Freddeh, sword spins towards the end. Weighty is going to blacksmith. These are some lovely patterns.
Yeah, got him in the corner here, which is beautiful.
Yeah. Ooh. Down to 3 hearts.
Swing and a miss right there. Gonna have to back himself off. But he takes the death, and he's got a fairy in a bottle, so he's going to be perfectly fine.
Picking up that net. Yeah, sitting in the Thieves' Forest, or I guess in the Mushroom spot if you know NMG. That's saving Freddeh right now. Weighty bringing the chest almost into the mire area.
Oh, Freddie's gonna have to be careful here. Get away from the bat. Oh, that was close.
Ooh.
Oh, get sacked! Oh no!
Another fairy. Another fairy. Whew. Stressy.
This is the tough part of this fight here. He's gotten through most of the stressful part, but still, you got to get four more spins on him here to get him to stage 4. And Weighty thinking that he may have left behind the fire rod by not checking all of Desert, going to get sorely disappointed.
Are we gonna see a Sora check finally? We might, right?
Oh, we know fire rod can't be at the pedestal.
No.
And there's the butter sword and Desert.
So Freddie going through it was almost correct. Look at that last item.
Oh, don't fall down, Freddie. Oh!
So close. Those silver arrows doing a whole bunch of damage to Ganon. The nice setup. It's really hard to actually like hit Ganon to be able to do silvers when you've got the Master Sword.
And this is happening because Freddie checked all the way through Swamp, and Freddie was going to steal this race away from WeightyWords, although you can't really say steal it because this was a back and forth affair between both of these people, and Freddie is going to make brackets because Weighty does not have a fire rod.
Ooh. And with an official speed racing TV time of 1:51:18 and the OMG, Freddie has earned their spot into brackets. GG's to Freddie.
Unbelievable.
As we reach out to Freddie, see if we can get them in for an interview. Rick, what are you thinking about that seed? What are you thinking about that race? Sum it up for us.
I don't need to summarize it. Those words that are on the screen at Freddie's screen say enough. And here we are. What a... This was crazy. Freddie, you're in brackets.
Somehow, I don't deserve it after that ending, but I can only guess that the required fire rod was something that he didn't get.
Yes. He ended up noping out of the waterfall room. You two were neck and neck. And then right side Ganon's tower. Weighty did try to do it. He definitely tried to do it, could not pull it off.
Yeah, it's hard. I haven't done that since Entrance Randomizer, and I never did it very well then either.
And so let me also point it out this way. There was one other storyline that was developing throughout this entire seed, or not during this entire seed, but ever since Go Mode. Weighty checked one additional spot while in Go Mode.
Was it the Tempered Sword?
Tempered Sword was in Meyer's shed.
Oh, of course it was. I thought about it too. I'm like, I could check Meyer's shed, but it's fine.
But did you know something else about this seed?
Sure.
The other sword upgrade was in Desert's big chest.
So it was both right there, and I just like, no, I'm gonna check everything but those. They checked the extra chest in Desert. I'm like, I'm not gonna go for the Desert big chest.
Yeah, exactly. We saw you like. We assumed you were going for a sword at that point, but yeah, right on the tip of your fingers, but you pulled it off, man. Congratulations.
Sure would have made the ending a little bit nicer looking. Yeah, cool.
What would you like to say to Moldorm 2 at this point?
Oh, words that are not appropriate for our current audience. Mostly, it should not exist and should probably just go fall down the hole himself.
Well said. Well said. We appreciate you keeping it family friendly.
Can I knock it down the hole? I want to knock it down the hole. Let it know how it feels.
Yeah, I might have called it the Great Equalizer as you were walking in the room, so I apologize for that.
Oh, I see. I'm kidding.
Overall, though, it was a pretty linear seed. what did you think? Did you find it linear? Did you find it,
It was? I mean, yes, but you had to make a lot of bad dips to really... I mean, Swamp was one of my last things, but I skipped a lot of things that I was worried was going to have something I needed.
The funny thing is that for the most part, the two of you are always in the same dungeon.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, the writing was super similar. It was really hard to tell, anyone coming in was like, oh, who's ahead? Yes, they are together.
Yes.
In the dungeon.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, there's a lot of random extra checks I could have made, but yeah, in general, going through the dungeons, it was pretty much, well, hit this dungeon, this gives you access to this dungeon, so do that dungeon now. Okay, well, got the cane, I guess I'll go up to Death Mountain and I guess maybe tip Turtle Rock. And then I got the boots, and I was like, there's a lot I can check. But now I'll just dip into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it ended up working out. So without the fire rod there, that was the last possible spot that Weighty could have checked. And so you both got flute at the same time. And
that's impressive.
Everyone went off.
Oh, sure.
Chat was going crazy.
I'm looking forward to watching this one back. I'm sure if it was as good as it sounds.
You're gonna want to. This was a masterpiece all put together. Obviously, you don't. I mean, obviously, you want to take those that Moldorm fight back, but this was an insane race.
Oh. Well, I'm glad it was a good one, and I'm glad I managed to come out of it. Last time I had a really good race, I choked it away. Like I tried to do that one. Yeah.
And we're still trying to resolve the Ganon's Tower big key game at this point.
Why? What? Because did he beat me inside?
Yeah, he was the first one in, so we're counting his chest, but he's stuck right now on chest number, what is it? 19, 20, 21, 22. So 19's the next one he's going to check.
17. Oh, 19. Yeah, I guess since he checked tile room, that would do it.
Yeah, he checked tile room as his last chance before it could.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Through, and that was about the time you got the big key.
Yeah.
So talk about that Ganon's Tower routing. What made you decide to go right side before you went to the Armos Knights?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I usually do it, honestly.
Fair enough.
I have found, I don't know, I have found some things that tend to work out for me in Ganon's Tower. Namely, usually if there's no key on right side, the big key tends to be on right side. More often than not, I've noticed. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I tend to, but, it's not all the time, so I like to to hedge my bets, as it were, and go all the way down to Rando Room first, but then skip Ice Armos, because it's a decent run past that still.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's a good way to do it. Definitely interesting. So WeightyWords still playing, still gonna finish it up. Did forfeit at this point.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's gonna be a long time before he goes back for the green pendant, I bet.
Yeah, I think
he's right now in Swamp as it is, about to face Argus.
Okay. Well, he's almost there. Yeah, that was an interesting surprise. I was kind of got it. I'm like, well, I have even more reason to go up to Turtle Rock now. I guess I'll do Turtle Rock. I don't know if this is actually required at all, but it could be for Ganon's Tower. That was kind of the other reason I went over to right side quickly. I usually do that anyway, but I was even more anxious to see if it was blocked behind Fire Rod or not. And what it was, that was when I started friggin' just being stressed out and nerved to heck. But yeah.
So, I think WeightyWords is going to join us in a moment. WeightyWords. Hello.
I just found it.
Yeah. I was
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that race was a disaster. Oh my god.
apparently it was a really good race
It was a super
until
good
the fire
race.
rod thing happened.
Yeah, and even then, it came down to that fire rod.
Yeah.
So Weighty, you had tempered going into Ganon's Tower. Freddie didn't. Freddie had Master Sword.
I skipped both those swords apparently.
So it was super close. That bomb jump, super tough. Like with everything firing at you.
I've never done it before, so that's kind of why I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing.
I was hoping that the key was on left side, but since I was there, I just decided to go ahead and try it as a last-ditch effort.
Right. And we saw
Yeah.
you actually pull off the jump a couple of times, but just ran out of time before the door slammed shut. So let's just go ahead and do something so we can resolve an issue, okay?
Okay.
4 chests, top right, bottom right, top left, bottom left. Which one do you open first?
The bottom right.
So chest number 19 will have the big key for you.
Oh,
The big key
They're
game.
like, I don't know which one it is.
What was I? The first one in? Oh man.
Yeah, it was super close. You guys were in every dungeon at the same time. You both. So I want to ask you. You both found the flute at the same time. What were you thinking when you found flute? Because you were in sort of like go mode, right? If big key worked out, you were in go mode. What were you thinking when you found that flute?
Well, me personally, I felt really good just because I thought that like Fire Rod wasn't needed to get all the way there, so I assumed that since Skullwoods was also a pendant, that Fire Rod was either locked in GT or locked behind something in GT or something like that, or even locked behind the flute for that matter. So I felt good about it, but it turns out that that's not where the Fire Rod was.
I was thinking the exact same thing because I went in there with the fire rod. I'm like, well, I really hope that if it is in here, it's in the back somewhere past the fire rod. 'Cause
Yeah.
then that means this whole trip was completely worth it. And when it showed up there, I'm like, well, fire rod's not technically used, so oh well.
And then right side Ganon's Tower happened. I mean, the two of you were about 15 seconds apart going into Ganon's Tower.
Oh jeez.
Oh man, that's super
You would
nice.
have won easy too. I whiffed the top. I think I fell 6 times in Moldorm too. Like it was disaster.
Yeah, and I mean, Weighty, overall, like you executed really good. You had some great routing decisions. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of. This was a great race. Watch it when you watch it back. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I definitely will. I always go back and watch my VODs because it's the best part about tournament races, in my opinion.
I agree.
Crazy seed. As Felix was pointing out, both of you guys were in the same dungeons at the same time. You guys were both in Turtle Rock at the same time. Ice Palace at the same time. Eastern Palace, obviously, because the early bow and lamp. At the same time, I mean, you both did one thing that was opposite of each other, doing desert versus doing mire. But at that point, both of you were in go mode.
Yeah.
So we just did the other, yeah. Yeah, I somehow missed both of those swords. I think I got a sword off of, like, Hobo or something? Something like that.
It was Thieves Town and in Spectacle Rock.
Okay. Thieves Down, Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, so you both had those. You both had those up until Mire Shed happened. The gold sword didn't come until after the, checks for the fire rod began for WeightyWords.
Yeah, it was in the big
Oh,
chest
okay.
of desert. Yeah, so
Yeah, I checked basically every other chest in that area, except for the, well, obviously I'd go to admire, but yeah, it was kind of unfortunate, but it would have made my climb a lot better looking.
Yeah.
So, WeightyWords, I'm going to ask you first. 4 and 3, there's a very small chance you're still in, but, in the event that this is your last chance to talk to the good people of the speed gaming community for this tournament. What did you think of your tournament? What did you did you hit goals? Did you have goals? What are you hoping for next tournament? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think I'm like 100% sure I'm not gonna make it in. So I'm not like hoping for that or anything. But yeah, my goal was to make brackets. So just being shy of that isn't too bad. It's just that it's a little disappointing. But I know that like there's gonna be more tournaments. There's always tournaments all the time, and now I can kind of sit back and watch, which I also enjoy doing. So yeah, it's been a blast.
Awesome. Glad to hear. Always great to see a positive attitude. I read in your bio, so you've been doing Rando for what, like 6 months now?
Yeah, it started in I think December. So yeah, it's been about 6 months. So
That's awesome. That's nothing to like shake a stick at. That progress of even getting 4 and 3 in the tournament of this size, that's impressive. Well done. Like
yeah,
great
thank
job.
you.
But yeah, best, like, definitely enjoy the rest of the tournament from the viewer side. You get to watch it without so much stress.
That's all. I mean, I guess that's true.
On that note, Freddie, now that I've probably scared you a little, what are you thinking going into brackets? Who are you hoping to face? Who are you hoping to avoid?
Oh, there's so many people that I don't know if I'd have a chance against, honestly. I know there's some people that will be favorable matchups, but I'm just going to see who I get and try to prepare the best I can.
That's fair.
Yeah. I hope I don't get like one of the amazing people like Andy, Magus, etc., 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 etc. There's a list of like probably 20 of them at least now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if I do, I'll go do what I can and go for it.
Good to hear. I mean, best of luck in brackets. Congratulations again. Any final thoughts from you two? Any more questions, Rick, before I...
GG.
Yeah. Thanks for thanks for commentating, and thanks for yeah, you two are both admins, so thanks for setting up the tourney. And